I'm going to put my camera in my pocket and I'll record as I walk around, smiling at literally every single person. And hopefully you'll be able to see the response.
You know that feeling when you're about to cross paths with somebody and the two of you are like getting closer and closer, and then you realize you don't know where to look? Like, do I look down? Do I look you in the face? Do I pretend I'm interested in something else? If you have any social anxiety, you'll find that your threat system will compel you to look away, and it'll want you to avoid any contact because it feels dangerous. In social anxiety treatment, what we're trying to do is we're trying to weaken that threat self-protection system, and we're trying to get you to where you're more naturally warm, curious, friendly. So one of the best ways to weaken that threat system is to basically go against what it wants you to do. Kind of do the opposite of what it wants you to do. If it wants you to protect, then a great treatment is to drop the protection and go forward unprotected and see if you survive. If you do survive, then you'll find that you'll become less anxious because your threat system is weaker. You've just proven this is not a dangerous situation, it's actually safe. So what happens if instead of avoiding contact, you look people in the eye and you smile whenever you cross paths? The threat system would probably tell you something's going to go wrong. Maybe people are going to think I'm weird, or they're going to give me like a disgusted face or be rejecting in some kind of way. So what will happen? Let's find out. Watch me as I go through and do this behavioral experiment to test out just this question. Watch through to the end because you'll basically see all the results recorded of what happens when I do this, and be able to talk about what the takeaways are from this and also what it means about overcoming social anxiety. Okay, let's go. Okay, first one here. No, looking at the phone. Looking at the phone, maybe she'll look up as I walk past and nope. They're talking to each other. Didn't even notice me. This guy looked at me for a second. She looks way away. Made a little glance. That guy's having a little glance. She's doesn't look at me. Looks away. She's got all this time. She's looking at everybody except for me. She's getting very interested in her stuff. There's a guy in glasses. Can't tell. She's got a sort of a blank look. Might have been looking at me. She's lost in a conversation, didn't engage. So the phone's out for her, so nothing. Nope. She's on the phone again. This guy's like found something very interesting over there. Couple engaged in a conversation. Okay. Another couple didn't look at me. She's looking very hard away from me. No glance in my direction at all. So that one lady did look at me for a second. No, I mean, notice nobody's smiled yet. No, okay. Not being noticed, and this is, yeah, there you go. That was my first like little smile from that one lady there. People know they're engaged in their conversation. They're engaged in their conversation. People here, yeah, not talking, but very much not looking in my direction. Yep, on the phone. This whole time I'm really looking at people in the eye and smiling at them when they, cross paths with me. Nobody is really engaging with me enough to see that that's happening. There's a glance here and there, really. That guy might have glanced. Again, like sort of a little glance, but nobody responds. No one returns it. Many people deliberately look away, very much never encountering my face at all. It's almost like they are deliberately blocking me out. Here's a little shot of me. That's what I'm looking like, walking around here, in case you're wondering. No, nothing. You can see there's a nice cross section of ages, things, and I'm getting essentially the same response from all age groups. There's no real difference. Young people, more phone diversions. Okay, thanks for watching. You see what happens. I did this video partly because somebody I work with has been doing this and noticed that nobody would look at him, and his threat system told him there's something wrong with you. And I said, no, this is how it works for me too. Everyone I've done this with. It's really hard to get strangers to make eye contact. So let's discuss. What do we learn from this? You'll notice nobody looked at me. I had the occasional couple of looks, but despite making eye contact and smiling, yeah, people weren't paying attention to me yet, and they certainly weren't giving it back. So I think there's a couple of things going on here. One, people are focused on their own stuff. You saw everyone on their phone. Other people, it's a good chance they're in their own thoughts, thinking about what's important to them, their relationships, that kind of stuff. So in which case they don't have the attention really to be engaging. So that might be going on. We certainly are not very interesting in the environment. I'm not. You got to do something pretty interesting in order to have anybody notice you if they're thinking about their own world. What they're thinking about is way more important than me. Like, I'm just not that interesting. So that might be part of why people aren't looking. A second reason is because everybody has some level of stranger anxiety, of social anxiety. And so that means people tend towards avoiding interactions with strangers. Not everybody, but it feels safer to avoid than it is to just make eye contact with somebody. So I think most people are more socially anxious than you realize. And this kind of experiment will show it. People don't really do this. People don't go up and initiate interactions with strangers very often either. So I think you can kind of see people would deliberately look away, deliberately find other things to look at. Like, we're not all that different. All of us have some level of this. Like, a takeaway from that, people are not looking. They're not paying attention. This is good news for social anxiety. It means that you're safe in that environment. I felt basically invisible. People are not looking at me, which means they're not looking for flaws. They're not criticizing. I'm not in danger in that situation. I'm just basically a part of the background. That reduces anxiety. That means it's safe. Another anxiety reducing aspect was nothing bad happened. I didn't get dirty looks. I didn't get looks of disgust. I didn't get people saying, like, why are you smiling at me? Or, none of that happened, right? What I got was, like, people just looking at something else as they walked past. A couple of glances, a little smile. I had one big smile from a guy who made good eye contact and smiled at me in response, but he was on the wrong side, so he didn't get recorded, unfortunately. But yeah, nothing. There was no threats happened. Nothing bad happened. You can't mind read, so based on the observable evidence, it was totally fine and safe. So this means anxiety comes down, and I could feel over the course of doing this that it became easier and easier to do. So as I didn't go with the threat system started to drop off, and as I deliberately was warm and connecting, my affiliation system naturally started emerging. So I felt warmer and I felt friendlier, and it became really easy after a while to just be friendly to people. And I felt really good. I felt connected and warm and happy, which is this natural affiliative system kicking in. And that's where we want you in order to overcome it, social anxiety. So it's a really good result to have. This is not a way to meet people. You're not going to make friends and find dating partners from doing this. This is a way of reducing anxiety and getting yourself used to being friendly and warm. Okay, thanks for watching. Subscribe, write me comments, give me those thumbs up and whatnot. Keep watching. I'm going to do more behavioral experiments, and for the next one, I'm going to escalate the difficulty a bit. Okay, thanks.